What's going on, Imperials? It's Emperor Cubone here. At some time in every region's life cycle, the probability has it that at a certain point, there has been or will be at least one prominent type specialist for each of the different Pokémon types. So we've reached the Unova region. And for our purposes, I was worried about the number of cities that didn't already have gyms, since it's not as many as you might think for a region this big. But as it turns out, we had more than enough. See, with Unova having two distinct stories years apart, we got to see a ton of type specialists between them, further proving my point for this whole series. But the only types that we didn't see with any gym leaders or Elite Four members were Fairy, Rock, and Steel. That's pretty good. So we'll start with the Fairy type. I would say that maybe the Fairy gym could go in a Cumula town. I was a bit worried that the heavy concrete motif might not mesh with the Fairy's general aura, but this is the Unova region, so more modern cities are just the way of life around here, and they can adapt to many different kinds of trainers. Plus, Alder already had my alternate Flossie town covered. So the leader of this gym would be the young man, Puck, a mischievous fellow that enjoys playful pranks and spending much of his time outdoors. Some people say he may have even been raised by Pokémon. But at the very least, Puck is challenging the stereotype that being a fairy specialist is a woman's game. However, we do run into a bit of a challenge for his team, because there weren't a lot of fairies added into the Unova roster. All we've got is the Whimsicott line, as far as new Pokémon anyway. If we were in one of the eras of loosened restrictions for other regions' Pokémon, we could also find Azumarill, or there's Clefairy or Jigglypuff. So I'd say that this is better off as an early stop in your journey. And I would probably also add in Audino, just to have some diversity for Puck's team. Inside the gym, the theme would bring the outside indoors, with the whole building being filled with a gorgeous and mysterious-looking forest. You can take different paths, but you never know when a trainer will leap from their hiding place to battle. But after getting to the end and beating Puck, he will give you the Arcane badge. Now, TM handouts are also strange because we haven't actually seen Fairy-type moves used in Unova, but assuming that it is okay, let's introduce the Dazzling Gleam TM, and also the HM for Cut. Either all of that could work, or there's that one Game Freak employee in the post-game that could certainly fit the bill. The next available town that I would use is Lentimist town, mostly because the desert location would make it perfect to host the Rock-type gym. The leader here would be Jade, a well-to-do woman who is quite enthusiastic about gems and precious stones, which is quite fitting because her ace would be Gigalith, who has its own interesting and unique crystalline structure. Now again, it is our goal not to invade the territory of the established trainers in their common teams. So in finding more rock types from Unova, I'd say that it's fine to use Crustal, since Berg only uses it in special circumstances for the Pokémon World Tournament, and only dabbles with Dwebble. However, as much as I might like to use Caracosta, it was used separately by both Marlin and N, so it's out. However, I do believe that we could probably use Arcan, because the claim there is not as strong, and it provides some extra typings for the team. And if we wanted a non-rock type Pokemon, I think maybe Stunfisk could fit the theme, even if I don't personally care for it much. But speaking of the theme, I'd imagine after entering the gym after a small room, you would be right back outside facing a giant canyon. Being right next to Reversal Mountain, I don't think that'd be that hard. Plus, with her fortune, she could easily buy the canyon. But whether you face the low road or the high road, you'll eventually reach Jade at the end. Once you best her, she will provide the Gemstone badge and the TM for Smackdown, since I really appreciate the functionality of that move, and it's one of the few rock moves to be 100% accurate. And lastly, we'll go up to Lacunosa Town, which has a great aesthetic for a moderate-sized town, and I think could be a great home for the Steel-type gym. The leader here would be Sterling, a robust man who moved to this town specifically after the nearby sighting of Cobalion that occurred in Black and White 2. This Sword of Justice would be an ideal prize for a Steel-type enthusiast like Sterling, and since winning comes naturally to him, he's not going to give up until he finds it. But until then, his current ace is Kling Kling, with great support from Ferrothorn and Durant, and he could even have Lucario, who can be found in Unova by this time. And if need be for some extra power, Steelix could also be a solid alternative. The gym here, I imagine, would resemble a chessboard where you have to move across the battlefield in the patterns of the indicated pieces. And if you get it wrong, the trainers will fight you. But after you reach the king at the end and beat Sterling, he will give you the Chrome badge and the TM for Ironhead. Unova doesn't have too much in the way of HMs that are required for your journey, but he could still give access to the HM for Dive as well, since it is close by to Undella Town. Now, people might be saying that Colress should be the Steel-type candidate to step up, but I'm pretty sure he's like a war criminal, and if we're going to let him off, I think his scientific talents would be better suited to researching something important, like why Unova is the only place in the world where they actually have seasons. And some people might say that Unova needs a real grass and fire-type specialist besides just Silent and Chili, but even by the time that we face them in Black and White 2, they have a decent showing. Not to mention the Pokémon World Tournament. So I don't feel that we need to invalidate their standing as legitimate gym leaders by trying to replace them, even if we easily could do so. But there's always the possibility that they could strike out on their own with solo careers. In that case, we could give them the likes of the Garnish badge and the Simmer badge if they still have their food obsessions. But I will say it is truly a testament to the Unova region for having so many different type specialists that were officially sanctioned by the Pokémon League. Even some multiple ones with the same typing. So who knows, maybe if we ever get Black and White 3, we might just see these characters show up with all the rest. And Unova could be the first region to have every type covered by the gym leaders and Elite Four members. That would definitely put them on another level, and remind people that this was the only region where the gym leaders fought the evil team. So, those are the missing type specialists that I think would be in the Unova region. What do you think of these missing gym leaders? Should there have been an Elite Four member? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Also be sure to leave a like, share this video, and subscribe so that you too can become an Imperial today. And we'll see you around next time!